Okay, so this is a big deal. The mind control episode of History Channel that I talk about happening less than a year ago is absolutely a main topic of discussion because this is over 150 years old, yet this is just now hitting the mainstream media on a regular basis. Almost every week or every month you're going to have a post that's concerning mind control regarding the Delgado research from all of the matadors over in Spain that use oral topics to feed to bulls in order to gain mind control abilities during a matador event, so they could get a bull to charge or stop on a dime, even turn left, turn right. This was all started on studies that had began on chimpanzees and other animals, maybe rats, other small critters, but Delgado did not draw a line at studying on animals only. Delgado also studied on humans after getting this proven on bulls. So this is over 150 years of public knowledge, meaning that Delgado was doing this before it was public knowledge. So this is longer than 150 years old, only now hitting the History Channel, as well as hitting David Jones, who does a podcast that's similar to Joe Rogan podcast or the Sean Ryan show. It's very similar to that. If you check out the Danny Jones podcast. He does lots of really good podcasts involving things that the government's using in order to maintain and hold totalitarian control over every last unknowing individual. Even if you know what's going on, it is still hard to avoid the controlling reach of the government. It is definitely an overreach. It is definitely uncalled for, and they're breaking laws all under the guise of, well, they're not even using a guise. They're rolling under the veil that you're not going to say anything about it. So if enough people can come out and say something about the fact that the contrails in the sky are far too frequent to be what they say they are, there's plenty of public domain information where you can actually see that there's all the plane attachments, all of the DARPA, the antennas that interact with the heavy metals that are being layered into the atmosphere. If you can get metals to a light enough state to where, it's like a leaf. It's like a leaf. Imagine a golden tree. Or a copper tree, right? Gold and copper are the main components used in electronics. Well, get metal and copper shavings. If they're fine enough and you get them high enough in the atmosphere, they can ride the wind and go into orbit just like the International Space Station. So that's why they do it, and then it lasts for so long, right? It takes a long time before it actually settles and hits the ground. So you never actually have, like, for instance, a whole entire penny worth of actual copper floating to the sky and landing on the ground. It's never that dangerous. You only ever have a leaf falling down on the ground. Now, what would that do? That would allow them to create a situation in the sky. They can create heat or cold or an electrical discharge or difference, using the metal alloys, right? As well as being able to manipulate the weather in the sky. If you breathe in these metal particulates in conjunction with the nanoparticulates that are in all of food, all of water, everything, even they take it. It's somehow they're performing a strange brew situation. And why do I bring that up? Why do I always bring up strange brew? It's because that's how you feed everybody one thing and get multiple results in a controlled manner. You could say that in the movie Strange Brew that they fed everybody the same thing and that they had no idea who was going to pick a white suit and who was going to pick a black suit when it came time to form the teams to play against each other in a hockey arena. How did they know? I want to say it's all the way to the point where they can tell you exactly who is going to put on a white suit and who is going to put on a black suit. Whereas people who want to argue my point all day are going to say that they didn't know who in Strange Brew was going to put on white armor, who's going to put on black armor. But I'll tell you, with the information that's available publicly by the government, that the government can feed everybody one nanoparticle and have adverse controlled reactions. They can tell you to do one thing and another person to do another thing, and all they did was feed each person the same nanoparticulate. It's in all the water, all the food, it's everywhere, it's in the sky. So even if you don't drink the water and eat the food, you're breathing in the nanoparticulates that allow them to dictate your mood and your political stance. I want to say that they do this, I'll say that it's capable by everyone eats the same nanoparticulate, but the nanoparticulate is not as effective on one group as it is the other. It still affects both groups, but you get extreme effects from one because they don't have an idea, and then you get not so extreme effects from the other because they have an idea. That would be how you get the adverse effect versus, let's say you feed everybody nanoparticulates, you press a button and they all die in an extreme manner, extreme case, extreme scenario. Well, they know they can't do that, right? Because then they have to go and make sure that specific people eat it. They can't do that. All they can do is put the nanoparticulate in all of the water, all of the food, all of the air. Everyone gets it, right? But the whole thing is you guard yourself with knowledge. If you know that this is happening, then you have to know to say no to the vaccine, or the vaccine is where they're applying the knowledgeable distribution, right? They're like, hey, you're going to go to this specific doctor, and then they're going to know who you are based on you wearing a bracelet when you walk in. So they'll tell all their people that you wear a bracelet when you go into your doctor. Their people go to specific doctors. Their specific doctors are told if you see a bracelet or a hat or glasses, a purse, if they're wearing yellow, everybody that wears yellow gets the good vaccine. Everybody that doesn't wear yellow, you get fucked off. So regular citizens, you might get lucky and wear yellow. They're okay with that because phase 2 is going to come around and they'll just knock you out with phase 2. Trust me, this is how this stuff works. This is InfoWars. This is why Alex Jones talks the way he does. This is why Alex Jones goes on the rants that he does, because this is all information that you realize as it's happening, but you can't string it together until you have a platform to do it on. That's the way it works. New Alex Jones in the birth, right here. Being birthed. I'm being born.